Here are some tips on how to photograph and how to put somebody at ease in front of the camera who might not naturally be that comfortable being photographed. I'll never forget there was this one subject I was photographing for a branding assignment. He was an individual who seemed to be much more relaxed in front of the camera until we started indicating that we were rolling or shooting for real. A strategy I kind of developed at that time was to drag out my lighting tests. Once I had my lighting tests nailed, I'd shoot a few extra frames before I'd say, all right, let's begin shooting this shot. Ironically, when it was time to hand over the deliverables, almost all of the edited shots that made the cut were shots from lighting tests that turned out. Another thing that you can do is either eliminate or increase the amount of people that are in the room. Sometimes people are really uncomfortable when it's them, a camera, and a whole bunch of eyes on them. So when you're shooting, you may want to take a look at some of the support team that you have and go, you know what? While we're shooting, maybe hair and makeup doesn't need to be here, maybe wardrobe doesn't need to be here, and I've got everything under control at the moment. Maybe I'm going to have my assistant and those folks just step out for a cup of coffee while we're shooting until we're ready to go to our next setup. Or it could be the opposite. Maybe somebody's a little uncomfortable when it's them, a camera, and just you, and in that case, you may want to bring on a couple of extra people to kind of fill the room a little and make it a little more relaxing for those people. One tip that I find really useful is every single time I'm shooting a person, and it doesn't matter for what application, even if we do have a budget and have hired a wardrobe stylist, I always have a subject bring a duffel bag full of their own clothes. Still have that stylist around because you're going to want to have them mix and match the subject's clothes, but having the subject wear their own clothes when they're uncomfortable can really help relax them. And the last tip is budget a little bit of extra time. You're running the show, you have that ability. When you take things at a slower pace, it tends to make people a little bit more relaxed. I hope you find this tip helpful. If you want to see some of my work and find out a little bit more about what I'm about, feel free to check out my website and my social media handles.